Welcome in. I'm glad to have you guys in. Welcome into the abode. Yes, you guys are here. This is a place where we really can come together and really kind of look for a unity, a oneness out of dividing as people here that come, and thank for all the new members that definitely have started following. Much appreciation, much shout out to, and definitely a lot of appreciation towards you. Uh, yeah, I'm so glad you're here. And in the varying countries that I know you now, Russia, Ukraine, Iran, and different places like that have actually come on board. I got listeners in these countries, and even in Iran. Peace, man. I'm glad you're there. Obviously, you're more open if you're listening there, and I know you guys might have to be on more hush hush there dealing with it, and I could be wrong because I know sometimes we're propagated a lot of stuff that are not so other places, and vice versa. But anyways, just really happy that you guys are in as we approach this really Thanksgiving place and time. We call Thanksgiving on my Native American side, and some people I know they call it Thanks-taking. But I know one thing: history's happened, and things have happened, and things are done. It's finding a unity because we're all intermixed. I'm such a mixture of difference from Irish, Scottish on that side, Native American, Choctaw, and then Mexican. My dad's a Mexican. My last name is Abril, as the left-hand corner. Yeah, so I got it interesting. We're going to get a word of a day. It's going to be a little bit different when we get there, you're going to see, because I've kind of undiscovered something as I just keep connecting into discernment, revelation knowledge, and things appear. And God, that what just hits me when I said it, some of the experience I've had recently, I haven't talked too much about here. But anyways, we're going to talk about a word. Let's just get in on it. Let's just go. Let's not waste too much time, right? We're just going to get on this today, and it is a word of the day. As you see, we have our word of the day, and this is blocking me, but probably not blocking you. No, you're good. So first thing we're going to do, you see the word heretic. So let's go, before we go into the definition, let's go into the etymology of the word. So many of us who come to religious, let's just be honest, let me give a background of this. Know the word heretic. If you came from a religious background, you've heard this word preached. Anybody who's not falling in line with the belief systems of the church you go to, the religion you go to, the organization you're connected to, has these key words to put a bad emphasis on people by calling them heretics, calling them different names. And I was thinking, and I'm still looking I forgot even some of the names of them, because one actually means villager, and I can't remember it. So some of the derogatory names that were said to people from the church, like heathen was one of them. What was some of the heathen? And then the one that actually means villager, which ain't nothing wrong with it. And then when you etymology, you'll find out that some of them, it's like, that's actually good. Yeah. We're going to find out something different about the word heretic today. And we're gonna do the definition, but let's start here before we go into definition. We're gonna find out something and we're gonna nail it. Right. So look what I get when I get heretic. No, I didn't get it. I forgot. Did I spell it wrong? Does it have an I too? And really, as you see, the word heretic, got to move this. This is in my way. I know you guys don't see it. Right? How do you spell it? Heretic? Here it is. Let's see if it pops up now. No. So, in etymology, the word heretic, and there it is. There it is. Okay. So it is in etymology. One who holds a doctrine at a variance with established and dominant standards from Old French, heretic, from church, Harviticus, or hereticus, or belonging to a heresy, a noun, a heretic, coming from the word connection, heresy, which we see all over the Bible as being, and if you came out of Christianity, this thing is used and used and used again. And it's really somebody who doesn't operate from the mainstay of religious beliefs. This is, be honest, that's what heresy is. You're going against the doctrine. And as we found out on this channel, all the doctrines are exoteric. So it's, so I'm just going to call it what it is. It's fraud. It's fraud. Just call out the punkitos as it is. I mean, it's right in front of your face. It's fraud. When we go in the definition, anybody who does not follow the mainstream religion of so-and-so and has a different belief is called, that goes against the established order, religious order, is a heretic. Let's just be honest, that's what it is. So as you can see here, it doesn't give much here. Notice it's from the church, Greek, and it goes able to choose, Testament, heretical. You know, what does go down here? Heretic, directly medieval, definitely. Here, church, late, leader of the school, it goes, you know, comes from that, ecclesiastum. So really, there's not much on it. Let's go into the definition. My point is, and look at the definition. You talk about serving it up to me on a platter so I can read it and decode it. It's obviously exactly what I had just said. A person believing or practicing a religious heresy, the Vatican branded Galileo a heretic from saying the earth revolves around the sun. So a person holding an opinion that's different from the mainstream of the religion. So when you start getting that, and we'll even go a little bit in here. This is a definition. Let's see if it gives us more. If we go down, a person holding an opinion at odds with the generally accepted opinion. She finds herself labeled a heretic when she dares to challenge her society beliefs. The new gardening movement will continue to throw up its heretics. So they're even using it in other spans. So it means anybody who doesn't follow the mainstream belief system or what's pushed as the agenda or the truth, those. So really, what I see this, you know, very easy to see that the word heretic is connected to the religious aspect, coming from Rome, coming from Om with a R, shall say, that you don't follow their doctrines. And all you good little non-Catholics that are that rebelled with Martin Luther King, and then it was handed down to you through your generations to be a Protestant Christian. There's a time that that now, not so much push now, but in their doctrine, you guys, Protestants, are heretics to the Catholic doctrine, whether you know it or not now, because it's not exploited now. They kind of backed away from it now, but if you go read it and know the order and know the history, this is where it comes from. First, it came through them who were really connected to natures, them who they call pagans, and that's one of the words. Look at what pagan means. And I did a pagan in a while. Pagan, it really means a villager and somebody who knows how to do medicine using herbs and stuff. So really, you know, when you really break into the truth, this stuff's comical because it's so literally just, programming's effective, folks. I just watched this series called The Dome, and they showed how the people were put under a spell and were walking around like almost, you know, like dang mummies or just zombies. And as they're walking around there with no direction, not being led to themselves, just being followers through the spell. And I said to Marissa, my wife, I said, look at that. We watched it together. I said, look at this. This is really what's happening in the world with them who are under the spell and the conditioning and the programming. This is really showing you the mirror image of what's really happening to us in the world. That's why it's so heavily, when I came into a greater awakening than the original awakening, as I just keep casting off into awakenings, waking up, next level, waking up, I started realizing back in 2020, 1918, I really went on the adventure of going through a process of deprogramming. And you have to deprogram even us and even me, there's still residue of programming left in all of us that as we keep getting it out, you'll still at times see it and see that it's there. The thing is, you're aware of it. Because the biggest difference between them who are under the spell or programming and them who are not, them who recognize it know they have been. Who don't recognize don't know they are being programmed. Again, those who are under the spell, under the program, don't know they're being programmed. Those who start the deprogramming are coming out of the program, out of the sleep, as we say, out of the forgetfulness. We know we've been programmed. We have an awareness that there's a program running around here. So when I looked at heretic and see it, this was a word at one time that was used to talk about them who would not follow the mainstream of the Catholic Church. It came from Rome. Again, also picking up on it later is the hardcore religions of the Protestants, who use the word, because the biggest difference between the programming of the Catholic Church really is they're not teaching you any biblical knowledge because they don't mainstream on that. Their main process is giving you a program to run on, or a bunch of doing a bunch of almost like initiations of worship and doing this and going and taking communion and the rosary and all these different aspects of stuff they have you doing as part of the rituals. Where the programming more on the Protestant churches is more based on their dogma and doctrine and the pushing of the scriptures with esoteric meaning, and they have no real revelation. They're just indoctrination too. They're really both indoctrination. It's just the Catholic Church more made it ritual based because they didn't teach the people really the Bible, or even they were not allowed to even read the Bible because they were considered unworthy, or they didn't have the knowledge to pick it up. Only the Pope did. So later you get the Protestants who teach it, but they teach it and then they create a dogma or a doctrine, a programming through their church and their doctrine, whatever religion you are, from Methodist to Baptist to Pentecostal, and so on and so forth, in all the thousands and thousands of divided religions within Christianity, because there will never be a unity, because it's what I say. I'm just being funny. It's not real deal Holyfield. It's fake as a $3 bill because it's designed to keep division. The Baptists don't interact with the Methodists. The Methodists no longer interact with the Pentecostals. None of them interact with each other. In fact, every one of them have an aspect of having white churches and black churches. And guess what? The black churches don't fellowship with the white churches, and neither vice versa. Divide, because it comes from a divide and conquer reality that we see here in this reality by them who did it. They would never give you a unity. Even within your religion, you have division. This goes even into Muslimism, and this even goes into every Abrahamic religion. They're all divided within themselves. We're talking truth today. We ain't playing games. We've risen. So heretic really just means you don't get on to get along. And you guys who know this kind of broke out of this. So it's very interesting when you see these words. Like, let's go back into here. I was going to, let's see about another word. Like I said, there's a few of them I'm like, why am I not remembering it? Because I don't use them anymore. Like I did when I was indoctrinated. And coming out is good. So pagan, there it is, a villager. A person of non-Christian, non-Jewish, so it's already telling you, it's already telling you he ain't from the Abrahamic faith, which kills me. Abraham kills me. Knowing that Abraham is no different than you add, like we went over here, you take the Indian guy, which is Brahmin, and you put an A in front of Brahmin, you get Abraham, because it's a copy of them. But anyways, so you see right away the villager, what I was talking about. Here, pagan, it means classical villager, rustic, use a noun. Meaning of the country, a villager, somebody who lives in the country. It's really somebody who lives in the country. Let's read down here. The rule, the unchristian them that are not Catholicism. putting their program on the people to judge these, when really these are villagers, countryside folks who know how to do their own healing and knew their connection to nature more than religion. The binding. Religion means binding. It will bind you. When it binds you, constriction. Binding means constricting. They constrict you. They actually constrict. The constriction actually comes in as a restriction. You start getting smaller, right? Because you're getting constricted. You're just being. There's no level. There's no expansion process through this. So, yeah. I mean, these are the words that we went through, and I just had to share because you know what? Heretic has just been in my mind, and I'm like, it's so funny because they put it out there, and then when you get to really having some knowledge and decoding, you see it's a bunch of, but the thing is people couldn't read, and they didn't want people to read. The pagans were a bunch of Gnostics too. Yeah, they didn't want them to put that truth out because you're getting ready to run game on the world that you're in, so you got to come with your little thing. It's just like when you look at I was talking to somebody the other day. When you look at, let me close this out and finish with this. When you're dealing with these governments or any powers that be, they'll do, they're going to run a program. Every time a society, any society gets in power, they're always going to have a religion as a right hand to control the people. That's why you got to have an exoteric and esoteric. Them in the upper are getting the esoteric knowledge, hidden knowledge. You guys are getting the old 7-week McDonald's hamburger in the trash that you realize, well, it still looks good because it's got a bunch of GOMs, poisons, and stuff put in it so the meat doesn't destroy, because really anything that comes from being pure or organic doesn't last that long. Organic meat does not last forever unless you do like natural like vinegar is a natural thing that they would use to pickle food so it would last. It would actually be something that naturally would make food last without putting all these chemicals in it so it lasts. Vinegar is a natural way to make food last. That's why they would pickle. They use vinegar because it would make the food last and not spoil right away. And it's natural. It's not chemical based. But anyways, every program, man, everyone will have their religious aspect and their program to run on it. And at first it was going around brutalizing. And then I thought about this, so this will be my last thought. I was talking with a young gentleman the other day, and we were talking about how one party used an aspect to control for 60 years. And as they used the aspect, they used to brutalize, right? And, I'll give you an example. What they did was they would light carrosses, right? And you should know what I mean. They have they begin and end with the K, I think, and which is the 11th letter. So 3 of them would be 33. Ooh, see, K is the 11th letter in the alphabet. So K would be 33, 11, 11, 11, if you add it in addition. So they'd quit going through the fear tackle of brutalizing, murdering, and doing that. And it's better just to go in, infiltrate, and then lead them the way you want them to go, and use them that way is more powerful to control generations. Because reality is, if you're getting brutalized all the time by a group, you never trust that group. They're your enemy. But when they flip it and become your friend, so they can lead you by the nose to where they want you to go, hence that's what's happened. And this is all what they do. Mind control, mind tactics. We've talked about that, but you guys have a great day. And pagan and heretics, not a bad word. Actually, it's really good when you have the knowledge that they won't teach you in college. Have a great day. My weirdos. Had to get that in. Hey, please give. If you can afford to give, that would definitely help us out over here of trying to do better videos, working on some of the things I need to work on, getting some stuff that I would like to add with this, and even expanding. But you guys have a great day.